Our evening continues with the entertainment from our state 4-H band directed by Mr. Matthew Conway.
On Saturday, high school band students from across Indiana traveled to Purdue and began working together to present a concert you are about to hear. That is quite a feat, as you will soon see.
Matthew Conway is assistant professor of the bands at Purdue University and was appointed faculty in August 2012. He serves as director of Symphonic and Varsity Band, director of Boiler Brass, and assistant director of All-American Marching Band. Mr. Conway is an award-winning, international-known composer for concert bands and over 50 original pieces currently in publication. He is also an accomplishment arranger and was written for athletic bands at Indiana University, Purdue University, and many high school and college through the country.
Join me in welcoming for the second time as Indiana 4-H Band Director, Mr. Matthew Conway and the 4-H State Band.
Good evening. It's a very big setup change here to get everyone out here, but I just wanted to say hi, thank you for the kind introduction, and just give a quick word of introduction of what you're about to see and hear tonight. The students who are performing in this band joined us just 2 days ago. They played an audition, and then they received their music for the first time that we were going to be performing for you tonight. I don't know how many more of you out in the house here tonight are band members back at your own schools, but you know that often it takes weeks on end to prepare a concert. These students have done it in a matter of days, and I think you're going to be really, really pleased with their performance. We're still getting a few things set on stage, and because we haven't warmed up at all, we'll play just a couple of quick notes before we begin the formal portion of the concert. But again, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for being such a great and supportive audience, and I'll be back with you when we're ready to begin. You're the most patient audience ever. Thank you so much. Again, the 4-H band has prepared a variety of music for you, some of it in the traditional concert band side of the operation, some a little bit more in the fun factor, a little bit of pop music, and a little bit of everything on this performance. And also, we have some very special guests who will be joining us a little bit later in the concert, and I'll introduce them when the time comes. We're opening our performance with a really exciting piece of music tonight called Rondo Festivo. All right, we're going the opposite direction on this next one. As exciting and energetic as that last piece was, this next one is a little more reflective in nature. The name of the song is simply At Peace, and it's just a restful, beautiful set of notes. This is something actually that I wrote, and this is the first time I've had an opportunity to work with the band playing it live. The only band I ever heard play it was this group of studio musicians, and you know, they play the ink really well, but there's not usually a lot of heart behind it, and the band has done a really good job bringing a little bit more of the heart behind this. We've all been at places in our life where we've been either depressed, we've been sad, or we've just needed something simple and pretty. And you know, someone who writes music will go to music to find that kind of release from that. Some of you are athletes, and running is something that will help you kind of get away from reality for a little bit and kind of relax. Some of you, it might be a good book. Some of you, it might be visual arts. Some of you, it might be just taking a nap, something that simple. We all find our own ways to find peace, and this was my choice at the time that I wrote this. The band's playing it very well, and it's just simple, reflective, and pretty. There's no real story beyond that. Music, when you perform it, covers multiple purposes. Sometimes there's music for the heart, something similar to what we just had, something that might be more to the emotional side. Sometimes you have music for the mind, music that you really have to think about to understand what the composer was getting at. Sometimes you have to, though, have music for the feet. And the next couple of songs that we're going to play are really for the feet, but for different reasons. This first one is a march, and it's actually just about the oldest, I think it is the oldest piece of music on this program. It's a march by the American composer Carl King. All right, we've talked about in the past, in previous performances, and probably heard of him before, a guy by the name of John Philip Sousa, America's March King. Carl King may very well be America's March Prince. He wrote hundreds of marches, literally hundreds of pieces of music. A lot of them part of his connection with various circus groups. He wrote for the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. He had a career as a circus musician and eventually a band conductor in the state of Iowa before he passed away in the 1970s. This march is called Burma Patrol March. It's kind of unique in that it's in a minor key, so it sounds just a little bit heavier than a lot of marches do at the beginning, but ultimately, it's music for the feet, music that's meant to move a group of people marching from one place to another. So it's a short little piece of music. It's exciting to play. Hopefully you enjoy the oldest song in tonight's program, the Burma Patrol March by Carl King. Thank you very much. This next one, as I already said, is another piece of music for the feet, as in it probably will have you involuntarily tapping your feet as we go through. The song is called Travelin Music, and it's based on an old folk song called The Arkansas Traveler. Not many people know it by that name. We were talking in the band earlier that we can't actually think of very many folk songs from the state of Arkansas, and this might be it. I don't know. But the song is very catchy, and as we were listening through it, a lot of them realized they'd all heard the song before. And I think as we go through, you'll probably recognize the song itself as we perform it. The composer of this edition of the piece put it through a few different styles, taking this Arkansas folk song and giving it kind of a Louisiana Cajun feel. A beautiful lyrical interlude in the middle, a couple of cannons in there, not like the military cannon. I'm talking a musical canon here. We're not going to have that kind of concert tonight. But maybe next year. But a few different musical tricks along the way to keep this one interesting from beginning to end. This is Travelin Music. Okay, a few more pieces to go here tonight, but this is a good point to recognize a few of our graduating seniors from this group. I normally would do this right before the final piece on the entire concert, but given what we're doing here for the last two songs that we're doing, I'd like to do these recognitions with these students. Well, it's just this group on stage at this point. We have several people who are in their final year of eligibility to play in the 4-H band. You can play into this group. You play in this group right up until the summer immediately after you graduate from high school. So we have some people that just graduated in the last month or so and who are playing in their final concert. First of all, I'm going to recognize first year, second year, and third year members. When you hear your name called, please just stand and remain standing until everyone from that group has been recognized. First year members, Melody Goddard from Elkhart County, Alex Strausser from Warwick County. Second year member, Whitney Wilson from Tipton County. Third year member, Alexandra Faldzinski from Jasper County, Jared Lewis from Huntington County, and Ethan Price from Fayette County. Please recognize these band members on their graduation and their experience in 4-H band. At this point also, in addition to having just graduated from high school, we have 5 people who have completed 4 years in the 4-H band, and they are recognized with some special medals here. So when I call your name, please come forward, do your best to not go over everything on the way. And again, please hold your applause until all 5 names have been read. Nathan Davids from Lake County, Tyler Eggert, LaPorte County, Sarah Kelly, Fayette County, Caitlin Ketchum, Franklin County, and Gabrielle Ross from Porter County. Please congratulate these 4-year members of the 4-H band. What's up, guys? I would also, at this point, like to get my thank yous in here for the evening. Again, normally I would do this at the end of the performance, but we're at a good pause here. I would like to thank the following people for serving as chaperones in various capacities here with the 4-H band this past weekend. And again, stand if you are within eyesight. If you're backstage, we'd love for you to join us out here as I call your name. Please hold applause until I've read all of the names. First, Jeff Holland, our Dean of Students. Marilyn Wickert, the Dean of Women. Olivia Western, chaperone. Samantha Morgan, chaperone. Jamie Reed, chaperone. And Brittany Mavrenovich, chaperone. Thank you so much to all of our helpers here this weekend. And then 2 very special thank yous from me as well for their work in coordinating everything with this weekend. First, Mr. Tony Carroll, the State 4-H Coordinator for the band and chorus, and Mary Brock, the State 4-H Office Secretary. Please thank them for their work as well. All right. Before we add more players to the stage, we have one more song with just the current year's 4-H band. I don't need to introduce too much of this one. I think most of you who have seen the movie The Greatest Showman will recognize this next piece. The song is called This Is Me. Now, as I alluded to earlier in the performance, we have something that we've not really done here before. It's a very significant event that we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of Indiana's 4-H Roundup. And our coordinator, Mr. Carroll, thought that it would be kind of a cool idea to invite people back who have performed with the Indiana 4-H band over its time. We've been doing this band a very, very long time. And these 20 or so people who are making their way to the stage or coming in from all sides right now elected to take advantage of that opportunity and come back to perform one more time with this band that, for many of them, they were part of this for all 4 years while they were in high school. Some of the people that are performing here today, their last year that they got a chance to perform with this group was back in 1998. I know it's one of the years that I saw go through the records earlier. And it's cool that music can sometimes unify across multiple generations. Community bands get that experience. This band is now getting that experience today. And another unique thing with this, and this is fun for me as well, is we had the opportunity to invite back the conductor that I think just about every one of these alums played for. If you've been to these events a long time, you know that this is only the second year I've directed this band. But prior to me was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Bill Kissinger. Mr. Kissinger is he was a director here at Purdue University for 37 years, retired, and he remains very active in this area, directs our local community band. He directed the state 4-H band for 47 years. And it's incredible what a tenure that was. And it's, there was no one else we could have possibly even considered to come back and direct the combined 2018 4-H band and alumni group. And, you know, it's especially fun because Mr. Kissinger has become a very good friend, truly one of my mentors. I've known him ever since I moved to Lafayette. And I'm very glad that he will be joining us here. So with our final bits of setup going on here on stage, here they come. Please welcome to the stage all of our 4-H band alumni. And I will let Mr. Kissinger introduce the music, but at this point, it gives me tremendous pleasure to welcome to the stage, microphone, and conductor podium the very long-time director of the State 4-H band, Mr. Bill Kissinger.
"47 years, that's why I have all these gray hair." It is a pleasure to come back. By the way, I don't know whether you've noticed the tuba section back here, but they have flags on the bills of their instruments. Hold them up, guys. Yeah, that's a long-time tradition. I think it started back in the late 1970s when I was conducting this band. We did a patriotic concert that had a lot of patriotic songs, and it wasn't totally a patriotic concert, but there were a lot of patriotic songs. And my tuba section on their own decided that was a good reason to put American flags, and they put the number of American flags signifies how many years they have participated in this band. So if it's one flag, it's 1 year, 3 flags, 3 years, etc. So that's a wonderful tradition, and tradition is a wonderful thing to have. The piece we're going to perform for you tonight was written in the about 1970-71 by Harold Walters, who for many years was the chief arranger for the Purdue All-American Marching Band here at Purdue, and a wonderful tuba player and a wonderful composer for Rubank Corporation. And he wrote this piece, and I happened to be sitting in with the Purdue band the night it was premiered, and it has 30 songs in 3 minutes. If you can name all 30 songs, I'll give you a dime. This is entitled Instant Concert and it is a band favorite. I did it a couple years in a row, and then I didn't put it in the folders, and believe me, the next year I heard about it, and they brought I had to dig it out of the library and put it out to the band because they wouldn't have anything but doing this piece. So it's been another long time tradition. And when Matt Conaway took over the band last year, the first question out of the band's mouth was, are we going to play Instant Concert? So here is Instant Concert by Harold Walters. You know, it's insane putting a band. These alumni, these 22 alumni, played this music with this band for the first time at about 4:30 this afternoon. So in about a 20-minute to 30-minute rehearsal, we put two pieces together, and it is a real testament that they were able to make it sound good and not make any mistakes and play all the right things in the right places. Our next selection, you know, Purdue has many former students who became astronauts. I think it was 21 Purdue students have become astronauts. The very first one to land on the moon was Neil Armstrong, and he played baritone horn. in the Purdue band. Hold up a euphonium back there. That's the baritone horn. Neil Armstrong played that instrument in the Purdue bands. And many others have gone on to the space station and many other things in space. So we have a great tradition here at Purdue. And to kind of salute that, and our finale piece of the concert is a piece entitled Space and Beyond. And this includes such pieces as Star Wars by John Williams, Star Trek, the motion picture by Jerry Goldsmith, Mars from the Planets by Gustav Holst, and also Sprach Zarathustra by Richard Strauss. Space and Beyond, arranged by John Moss. job, man. Great band.
Thank you all very much. I have to say, I direct a lot of concerts in my job. This is probably the most fun audience every year. I look forward to this. Thank you for being such a great audience. And again, to the band members and to our alums as well, thank you for doing what you do. What you are doing on this stage is something that a lot of people really wish they could do. You're the ones that kept doing it. And you're the ones who will have a lifetime of music making. You will have a lifetime of joy off of playing what you do, sharing that gift with others. That's the most important thing we do in music anywhere. The choir that will be performing tomorrow night, you're all doing the same kind of thing. And thank you all for your gifts of music. I've loved working with you again this year. I look forward to next year already. We are all set. Thank you so much, everyone.